It gives me great pleasure to welcome all the distinguished dignitaries and participants at this seminar on sustainable forest management for nature-based solutions. The International Tropical Timber Organization, ITTO, is delighted to join forces with Japan's Forest and Forest Products Research Institute, FFPRI, and the Forestry Agency of Japan in co-organizing this seminar at this beautiful setting of the Japan Pavilion at the 29th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Climate Conference. Our respective institutions are natural and close allies as we share a common vision in advocating the various nature-based solutions that sustainable forest management offers as a valuable path in building sustainable and resilient societies, contributing to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Now, with certainty, one can state that humankind is at crossroads in tackling climate change, where 2024 is already set to beat the 1.5 degree target. This year, we have witnessed the atrocities and suffering caused by its effects, from stronger wildfires to catastrophic flooding and the regrettable loss of human lives. It is imperative to accelerate climate-smart actions and the adoption of nature-based solutions as a viable way forward. The topic of today's seminar will showcase the sustainable use of forests for disaster risk reduction while providing decent livelihoods for forest-dependent communities. It is well recognized that forests offer shelter and protection to extreme weather events. Thus, they are in nature an adaptation measure to the adverse effects of climate change. For example, restored forest landscapes in mountainous areas may prevent landslides, while mangrove ecosystems offer coastal protection against erosion, surges, and tsunamis. Sustainably managed forests may be more resilient to extreme droughts and pests. Sustainable forest management is also crucial in fighting rural poverty and land degradation, especially in the tropics, which in turn will reduce the risk of future environmental disasters from occurring. It is increasingly clear that tropical forests are important for the long-term health and well-being of millions of people living in the tropics, and arguably also for those living elsewhere. As such, greater investments in sustainable tropical forest management are urgently needed. Such investments are also climate smart, as they will save incredible expenditure incurred in dealing with the losses and costs of post-disaster management. Forests are also central in the transition to carbon-neutral economies through the provision of timber, one of the most environmentally friendly materials, as well as multiple ecosystem services that range from fresh water supply, carbon sequestration and storage, biodiversity conservation, recreation, risk disaster prevention, and many others. Thus, one can state that sustainable forest management and landscape restoration offer effective nature-based solutions beyond disaster risk prevention and carbon. They are effective means for building circular bioeconomies and a sustainable future. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the ITTO is a unique intergovernmental organization that promotes the sustainable management and conservation of tropical forests and the expansion and diversification of trade in tropical timber from sustainably managed and legally harvested forests. We translate our mandate into action through policy development and the implementation of field projects in our almost 40 years of existence, many of them thanks to the generous contribution of the government of Japan and other donors. Many of those projects have components to safeguard the protective nature of forests against natural disasters through reforestation, landscape restoration, and awareness raising with active community participation. Today, you will taste a sample of the positive impacts of such work, along with other interesting initiatives. ITTO stands ready to continue working with its members and partners in attracting the financing that tropical forests so need to realize its potential for building a resilient, sustainable, and inclusive future, as aspired by all parties to the United Nations Climate Change Conference. I thank you and I wish you a wonderful session.